So we're back with Eric Martin, Mr. Big. So I had no idea you were as accomplished a guitar player as you are. Obviously, you said you played piano, and strum us a little tune if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I read you started out playing drums. I knew that.
I did. I actually, in Mr. Big, we at the end of the show, we only started doing the last 10 years, but at the end of the show, we switch instruments. And Pat would be the lead singer. Paul would play the drums. I'd play bass. Billy would play guitar. And then we switched a couple other times as well. And there's one little teeny blurb on YouTube. If you can find it, it's really rare. But I played drums on Brown Sugar. We do covers, right? So I played Brown Sugar. Paul Gilbert danced out with he put a little Mick Jagger costume together, and we played, he sang, Billy played guitar and then Pat played bass, and I played drums, and we're playing Brown Sugar. And then out of nowhere, and I didn't even know this was going to happen, I did a little bit of it, but I thought, Billy, you're crazy to do it. He came out and Billy played a saxophone solo because he played sax in high school. Yeah, I know, kind of trip. All right, what do you want to hear?
What do you want to play?
What do you want to hear, man? Let's see. Oh, you don't want me to sing, man, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm the one who wants to be with you. See, deep inside, I hope you'll feel it too. Waited on a line of greens and blues just to be the next to be with you. Woo! All right.
There you go.
Yeah. I kind of choked a little bit. I went, waited on a. Yeah,
you carried through perfectly with it, though.
Right.
That's the experience.
Number one hit. You wrote it. You can do whatever the heck you want with it.
Hells yeah.
Right. So, what do you got coming up over the next bit? Because, like I said, I've been following you on Facebook and stuff, and I know you did that show. You sent me the email and they said that you had to bounce to that show. What do you got coming up over the next, month to 2 months?
So I have this thing called Eric Martin's Big Acoustic, where I play Mr. Big songs. The hits are our hits, I guess. And it's so weird to go, the hits. There is a couple of hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then kind of rare ones that nobody really paid attention to, that I loved, and I'll play those, and I'll play a few of my solo stuff. It's a trio, and I got this guy PJ Farley, who's a bass player for the band Trickster, and now the new bass player for Fozzy, Chris Jericho's Fozzy, and a guy named Ben Hans, perfect name for a percussion player. It's Hans, but it's like Ben Hans, jazz hands, on drums. He plays with Kip Winger, and we have this acoustic thing. And then I also play with PJ Farley's colleague, Steve Brown from Tricksters. So we do a kind of Trickster, Mr. Big, and kind of a thing. It's kind of a thrown together thing that we did. We went to Japan with it, everything, but it's just kind of, it's kind of keeping my chops up for when Mr. Big plays, or when I also go out with Avantasia, which is next year. But in the next couple months, it's just going to be all about trying to get off the couch and do something, man. I was so bored, and I'm now starting to book some shows coming up, and Oklahoma City is next, and Fort Worth, Texas next week.
So you mentioned something, you were talking about all the different people that you're playing with. So out here, people know why they get called. It's either a networking thing or it's an ability thing. This would be kind of maybe a gem of a question that some guys might not understand. You're picking guys that you want to play with. Obviously you played with the best of the best, but you're going to go out there and do this. What's your criteria? Is it ability? Is it a good hang? Is it, what do you look for? Because it seems like you keep naming the same guys, keep coming up, but then you're a little left of center on some other guys. So yeah. What would you say there? Most
of the guys I play with are talented, or they're what I call made men. they've been in the business for a long time. Bands, records, that's kind of prerequisite to get in to the Eric Martin Club. But a good 70% of it is the hang and the humor. And, check your baggage at the door, check your egos at the door. At this point in my life, I've had some success. I'm, I guess, a heritage guy now. I've done it for a while. I made some money, and I like making more money, but this is kind of gas money vibe, gas money kind of gigs. And I do like the hang to when I'm playing these shows, and when I play I do a lot of shows in Europe. I spent a lot of time in Europe and Southeast Asia and some in Japan and then South America. And when I do that, Eric Martin, the voice of Mr. Big, Eric Martin or whatever it is. And I do a little spin with Mr. Big music. It obviously is not going to sound exactly like Paul Gilbert or Billy Sheehan. I give it the singer-songwriter approach. But yeah, I like the hang. I already know, of course, they're talented guys. I'm not going to play with these slouches.
Sure. I mean, you mentioned Brian Tichy. And again, I'm a drummer. When you had Matt Starr came in, right? And I mean, he's a guy that seems to be getting his name comes up on the wheel quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
He's been playing with Ace Frehley now, and did a couple of years. Well, he did it right before he got in Mr. Big. Yeah, I'm happy for that guy. He would say, like, I like how I do the same thing. I call people kids, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm happy for that kid." It's old age speaking.
Sure.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of attention. I'm happy for that guy. Yeah.
And it's great because I mean, like, I don't want to say he just kind of came out of nowhere, but you started hearing him a little bit in Ace Frehley, and all of a sudden, it seems like everything, like Rob McCauley. I think he plays on Rob McCauley's Black Swan, and with Jeff Pilson and stuff. So it's just neat that you can kind of see what's going on out there. I mean, certain guys are obviously easy to work with and show up prepared, and they get the call.
They do. I mean, look, Troy Luccketta, phenomenal drummer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know Brian very well. Him and I actually did a project together. It was called a Tak Matsumoto group, TMG. It was really, really good back in the 90s. It was me, Jack Blades, Japan's favorite son, Tak Matsumoto, is a guitar player, 90 million records. I swear to God, he has a group. It's just him and another guy, Koshi Inaba, called Bees. B''Z, huge, big stars in Japan. And he wanted to do an American kind of rock feel. And you can check it out. I mean, I don't know where to get it anymore, but you can hear some of the songs on some format. TMG, me, Jack Blades from Night Ranger, and then Brian Tichy is on it. And he played, I only met him that one time, and then, or that session. And then we did some gigs with Whitesnake back in the day. But yeah, Brian, I remember Pat going, yeah, they don't call me anymore. They call Brian. And then another guy who played on that TMG tour, this guy, another great drummer who gets the call, is Chris Frazier, who plays with Foreigner. Mm-hmm. And Chris, he goes, God, Brian, he always gets the call. We're happy for that guy, man. Yeah. Everybody's happy for everybody, but like, these are people that I play with, the Steve Lukethers and but they're great players, but it's all about it's kind of about the hang, I love the humor of these people. I mean, I that's why they get a call back. That's why sometimes I get a call back,
Well, it's funny because out here we can never find singers and we can never find bass players. So we'd always have to convert a guitar player to bass player, and you'd never find a singer ever.
I'm a singer. What do you got?
Well, and I mean, you guys used to kill me because everything that came out was. I remember Carmine Appice did a clinic out here. Geez, 88, and that's when he was in King Cobra at the time. And I remember just saying to him, like, you know, what's the deal with that guy? Oh, there's a million guys like that in LA. Oh, great. Well, there's no guys like that here in Halifax. You know what I mean? Like, we just couldn't find that, and that's kind of the genre we're growing up listening to.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like I was in a bunch of bands, and just, you know, I looked at every magazine in the back of the magazines, and musicians wanted, singers wanted. There wasn't very many singers wanted. It was always like band guys, you know. So I'm surprised to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I lived in Toronto for 7 years, and even up there, everybody looked the part, but they didn't sound the part. I mean, you know, it was just.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I never looked the part. I mean, like I look at some of the videos of me, you know, and I might have had some cool clothes on, but for the most part, man, I never dressed right. I was always like jeans and a t-shirt and combat boots, or a pirate shirt or something like that, you know. And the band used to tell me all the time, they go, what do we do with Eric? We gotta put some flames on him. You know, it's like that scene in Rush Hour. I don't know if you remember that movie, like,
Yep.
What kind of taffeta, buttercream, you know. Yeah, I didn't. All right, we'll put a little animal skin on you. Yeah, I never dressed the part, but like, yeah, I could sing. So, but I'm lucky.
No question. So I want to be respectful of your time, but I want to ask you this last question here, and I'd be very interested. I've been thinking about this. So you've played with an awful lot of different people. You've had the opportunity, obviously, to play with Mr. Big and whatnot. Who haven't you collaborated with or played with that you would like to, that is on your list?
For years and years and years, I've been wanting to get together with Steve Lukather. He played on a few of my solo albums back in the day. I actually, I auditioned for Toto years ago, a couple of years before Mr. Big, and I was really hoping to get the gig. I practiced with him for about a week, the whole band, sang all the tunes, Hold the Line, Georgie Porgy, Africa, you know. Thank God my balls didn't drop back then, man. I was like, all I want to do, I was like so singing my ass off, and it didn't happen. And over the years, even with Mr. Big, we talked about getting together tons of times and doing an album together. So he's on the bucket list. You know, I think we could do something really cool together. I just like my dream phone call would be Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert on a conference call going, let's do this again. Let's not have Defying Gravity be the last thing we did. Let's put out another record. That's a golden bucket right there. You know?
You think that'll ever happen?
Look, dude, you're looking at me like you think I have authority or something. You think I'm the boss? No, man, I'm the cheerleader. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sad. I am sad about Pat Torpey's death, but I'm not grieving anymore. I'm celebrating. And so years and years and years, I'm sorry, not years and years and years, but a couple of years have gone by. Edit this out, guys. Sorry, I'm like tongue tied of that. But it's okay if we go back. I didn't know what I wanted to do after Pat Torpy. I wanted to be in Mr. Big. I didn't want to be in Mr. Big. I didn't want to do it without him. I'll do it without him. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a hot mess. And it's understandable, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I know what I want to do now. I don't want to be, I'd like to go out with a big hurrah, a big bang, and
Well, and I
I
think
don't,
there's still some gas in the tank, my friend, right?
I'm sorry.
I would say there's still some gas or a lot of gas in the tank for that project.
I'm pouring the gas in the tank. I just need those two guys to drive it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, I want to thank you for your time. I want to be respectful for your time. This is, I'm not going to say I was surprised because just the fact that you took the time to get back to us so quick was amazing. But this has been, if you can believe it, over an hour. You can, hey man, you covered a lot of racetrack, right?
Dude, I didn't get to talk back in the Mr. Big days. It was basic. This was me in the Mr. Big days. It was like Billy would do all the talking, and they go, "Hey, I'm Billy Sheehan. I'm Pat Torpy. I'm Paul Gibbon," and this would be me, and I'm Eric Martin, and we are Mr. Big. That's kind of the gist of it. That's all. I never get to speak, and on stage, I remember the guys used to go, dumb it down a little bit. Just, introduce the song and just sing it, Eric. Come on. Let's not tell jokes or anything. Let's just do it. Now I tell the jokes. I do it the fuck I want now. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to just chit chat and tell stories about one of the best things that's ever happened to me, Mr. Big. Cheers.
Well, I want to thank you, sir, and be well, and good luck to your kid in the basketball tournament this weekend. Well, if you don't mind me saying, what level is that?
He's a junior in high school. We just got back from Los Angeles 2 days ago. He played 5 games in 3 days. It's kind of a NBBA is what it's called. And then yesterday, we got back from LA 2 days ago. That same day that we got back, he played 2 high school games. So 7 games in 4 days. Wow. He was so burnt out. And then the last 20 minutes of the game, he got elbowed right in the head, and he's okay. But he was bleeding, and he was like, I'm okay. I want to keep playing. I go, dude, we're going to the hospital. 2 staples in his head. And wow. And then I go, hey, Dylan, he goes to work. I know, I'm telling him, like, he's a great kid. He coaches little kids on another sort of league. And I go, don't go to work, man. You played 7 games in 4 days. You're burnt out. You got 2 staples in your head. And he goes, I'm good, Dad. They didn't cut anything to my hair. They didn't cut my hair. So they can't see it. I'm like, oh God, trooper.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to him it's like I'm assuming it's most of this week. So
yeah, he's got a game today, man.
Best of luck. Thanks so much.
He's me back in the day.
Well, and you know what? Hopefully he does well. And thank you so much for doing this, Eric, man. It was so good to meet you.
Oh, I enjoyed talking to all you guys. Thank you.
Yes,
all
likewise.
Right. Peace.
See you.